Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another video for you. So, on this video, I want to talk about something that happened in the NBA that I feel like is kind of interesting, the chain of events that led to where we ended up just the other day. So, I want to talk about that. Before I get into it, thanks for clicking on the video. Hopefully, you're enjoying your day. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, or follow wherever you're watching this, and leave a comment as well at the end of the video, giving your thoughts on the subject that I'm about to talk about. So let's go ahead and talk about the fact that the Milwaukee Bucks fired Adrian Griffin after 43 games. It's not even like they're struggling. They're 30-13 on the season. Was that good for second in the Eastern Conference? But for some reason, it just wasn't working out behind the scenes. And what we were led to believe was at the beginning of the season and during the offseason, this was the guy that Giannis finger pointed to be the guy to replace Coach Bud. Now, I was never a big Coach Bud guy, and obviously Giannis and the Bucks had kind of run their course with him as well. And for Adrian Griffin, he was a former Celtic, so I saw him play a little bit there. Seemed like he was, one of those assistant coaches on the rise on the Toronto staff with Nick Nurse. So when he was tabbed as the coach for Milwaukee, I was like, okay, let's see what he can do as a head coach. Because not everybody can make that transition from, assistant to the actual head coach. Different voice, different responsibilities. Not everybody can handle that. So apparently, Adrian Griffin came in. I guess he rubbed some people the wrong way with, I guess what his plans, especially defensively, is I guess some of the players didn't like that he wanted to be more of like a more pressure or more pressing up type defense. When you look at this Milwaukee team, they are a bit older, not as athletic of a team as probably recent seasons. And then it just went completely south, where one day we just found out they released him. So if it's something where, Bucks players or whatever didn't think Griffin was going to be good enough to lead them to a title, I would say, just towards the ownership group, still, why make the decision now? He's a first-time head coach. Who's to say he couldn't have grown into that and became a better coach the second half of the season? As a Celtics fan, I've seen with Joe Mazzulla, a lot of people questioned him his first year. They made the Eastern Conference Finals, lost in a Game 7. Then what did the Celtics do the second season during that offseason? Brought in really good assistant coaches to help him out. Fast forward to now, the Celtics are the number one seed in the East once again. I don't know how you feel about Joe Mazzulla. I like him. I feel like the team likes him. That's kind of what matters. Obviously, that wasn't happening here with Adrian Griffin. But I just feel like after 43 games, that's a little bit soon to decide on a first-year head coach. Now, I guess as we peel back more and more, it seems like, I guess Griffin and Dame didn't see eye to eye. Griffin and Giannis didn't see eye to eye, which once, I guess, Giannis isn't seeing eye to eye with you, you're probably going to be gone anyway. I think there was some quotes out there that Adrian Griffin might not have been the biggest fan of Thanasis. That's Giannis's brother who's on the team. If you don't know who he is, he's the guy who stands up on the sideline whenever Giannis makes a basket or something. He's the first one to be cheering. That's Thanasis. Also, if it's a blowout, he's the guy who's out there. Well, I give him credit. When he's on the court, he goes about 300 miles an hour and gives you what he has for the few minutes that he does actually touch the court a season. But yeah, apparently Adrian Griffin wasn't a big fan of him taking up a roster spot that maybe could have gone to somebody else. I don't know. So Griffin's out. It is what it is. I guess we'll see what happens to him after this. Since he was such a highly regarded assistant coach, I'm assuming he goes somewhere and becomes an assistant. I don't know. But Who's replacing him, though, might be a little bit interesting as well, because they're replacing him with Doc Rivers. You know, the Doc Rivers from the Celtics, the 08 season winning the championship, the Doc Rivers who was coach of the year with the Orlando Magic, and very recently, the Doc Rivers who was working at ESPN calling games. So he was still in the forefront of the NBA, just not on anybody's bench until now, which even if you look at that, Doc Rivers was the consultant or one of the consultants or whatever that led to Adrian Griffin getting the job. So if they really wanted Doc Rivers that bad, why didn't they just hire him in the first place? Because also, as it seemed, is once Adrian Griffin was gone, Giannis wanted Doc Rivers to take over. Which, once again, Doc Rivers was available when they hired Adrian Griffin. Why not just get Doc Rivers to begin with? That's the part of this that I don't know. Something seems a little off about that. Like, was Doc just a consultant because there was a worry that Griffin wouldn't work out and Doc was going to replace him? So Doc was like, sure, I'll consult him. Why not? Like, I don't think Doc was actually on the payroll or anything, but I guess he was like an informal consultant, the person I guess Griffin could reach out to for whatever. Kind of like what Van Gundy was brought into Boston, where Van Gundy's a consultant to the Celtics. I guess that's what Doc was doing. I don't know. It's just a weird situation. And looking at how this went down, Adrian Griffin, it's almost like, are the Bucks becoming unlikable? Like, Giannis is a superstar who was easy to like because he doesn't. Seemingly, it was like he didn't really do the politic type thing. He played with whoever was on the team, took them as far as he could, came back, did the same thing. But now the way that this Adrian Griffin thing's gone down, I don't know. Giannis might be trying to get into that LeBron bag where Giannis is trying to be kind of a GM behind the scenes. And I think that's a scary proposition because, yes, LeBron is a great player, but some of the decisions that we point to and say LeBron had a hand in them, a lot of them don't work out. So if Giannis is going to do that in Milwaukee better be careful that they don't allow Giannis to just run things to the point where Giannis then gets discouraged by the direction of the team because some of the decisions don't work out. And he just points to the ownership and says, you guys are messing this up. And then he wants out. That's the cautionary tale I have for Milwaukee. But we'll see. We'll see how all this works out. Like I said, it just seems weird. And look, Milwaukee might have to nip this in the bud in terms of Giannis's input. Like, I think he can have some input. But as we've seen, like I said, with LeBron, probably some other players, you can't just let your star player make every decision because a lot of them will backfire. And then you think that star player is going to take blame for it? No. He's just going to sit there, turn around, and put the blame back on ownership as a way to get out. But we'll see. Maybe the Doc Rivers thing works out. Giannis is happy with it. I mean, this is technically a Doc Rivers type of team. Doc Rivers likes veteran-laden teams. That's how it is. He left Boston because he didn't want to go through the rebuild. Which, if you think about it now, if he had stayed there, he'd be coaching Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Just saying. Not bad. But, yeah, this is a team that Doc would love to coach. We'll have to see what the impact is. I do know that they played last night, I guess, was the first game without Adrian Griffin, which they won. Then had like that circle dance thing, which, gotta be honest, looked a little staged and corny for my taste, but neither here nor there. But it was, I don't know, it was not necessarily the greatest look because now it's like, oh, the big bad Adrian Griffin's gone. Now we can have fun again. You were 30-13. He's a guy who I feel like was more defensive inclined. You traded away Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard. Yeah, your defense is going to struggle, especially at the point of attack. So maybe Adrian Griffin told some players some things they didn't want to hear, and ownership sided with the players over the coach. That's probably all this boils down to. But like I said, let me know what you think about this. You agree with the move? Do you think Adrian Griffin should have been given at least the season to really show what he could do? Because like I said, Joe Mazzulla, a lot of people questioned him in the first season. He got them to the Eastern Conference Finals anyway. And some would say it's probably because of Tatum and Brown. I get it. But why wouldn't the same thing apply here with Adrian Griffin? The season should come down to Dame and Giannis. So if they fail, on them, not the coach. Just my opinion, though. But yeah, made it this far. Appreciate you. Really do. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. Follow. And like I said, let me know in the comment section what you think about this move. Do you agree with the firing of Adrian Griffin? And do you like the hire of Doc Rivers? Wait and see what happens with Doc Rivers, because his reputation's taken a bit of a hit since that Celtics championship. So, see how it goes. But yeah, should have another video out soon, I guess, about the playoffs, because I do have to do that just to let you know it's coming up the rest of this week. Divisional round video, plus some other stuff, and some streams as well. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for podcast videos and over at Twitch for live streams. Hit up the Discord, all the socials that are up here. Feel free to follow me on the ones that you use. Would really appreciate it. But enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. God bless. And I'll see you in the next video. All right. I'm out.